So over the course of the last couple of weeks, Square Enix has actually been taking a lot of different shots, and even more news and analytics seems to come out to suggest that something might possibly be wrong at the company. But I'm going to weigh in, give you guys some perspective on what's being said, what you should expect, and honestly, hopefully help alleviate any fears that you have. Because I think there's a lot of false concern, a lot of fake narrative going on around the state of Square Enix and what it means. But we've just been getting really good news, and I think overall, this might be the time to perhaps consider investing in Square Enix if that is something you want to have a part of your portfolio. But let's go ahead and dive into the video. This is not financial advice, by the way, but I just want to talk about when things go on sale, and Square Enix as a company has just got, a little bit of a sale. It lost a little bit of a value over the course of the last couple of days. Now, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian. If you happen to be new around here, I'd like to cover video games from a developer's perspective. We're going to dive in and hopefully answer some of your questions, because trending on Twitter consistently has been Square Enix, has been Final Fantasy 16, has been sales on the PS5, which has come out to a little bit of this kind of console war, tit for tat, little points here, points there for the game itself. And as someone who really has been enjoying Final Fantasy 16, is perhaps a simp for Square Enix. You can take that for what it is. Let's just call myself out so you know what you're stepping into if you're new around here. And if you are, consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that like button before you dip out of the video. But let's go ahead and break it down. I want to start with McQuack306 here over on Twitter. Says, for those that told me to read the article about operating loss is different, please explain to me today's news of SE stock dropping after the financial results in Final Fantasy 16 not performing as well as they were expecting. It's okay to say they may be struggling, but clearly they need help. Now, there's a couple of things I want to kind of start to break up this tweet about, because I definitely agree with them struggling. I think they definitely need help. They've got a new CEO. I think they are making moves, and that's why I'm never too worried about stock prices dropping. I know a lot of gamers tend to go to the stock price, but they don't truly understand economics. When stocks tend to dip, people tend to buy. It's basically like, hey, this company that has value and a lot of valuable IP went on sale for a little bit today. So clearly, obviously, make smart financial decisions with your money. I'm not trying to encourage a rush of buying Square Enix. I don't own any Square Enix stock, but my funds are all invested in mutual funds. That's just an index funds. That's how I do it to kind of hedge my bets, but I'll let you guys do what you need to do. Anyway, now, obviously, not getting distracted with financial discussion. I don't want to accidentally slide in to become a financial influencer, because that sounds like a massive waste of y'all's energy. In this case, let's talk about operating loss being different and the stock dropping, because it's not actually just off the heels of Final Fantasy 16. This report that came out from Square Enix is all based off the first quarter prior to Final Fantasy 16 sales, which did within the range, not the upper range of what Square Enix was hoping. And that's where one of the things I'd push back on McQuack here is literally saying that the not performing as well as they were expecting. Like, that kind of alludes to, like, it didn't actually meet expectations. No, but they have a range. So typically, if you're, to kind of break this down visually, or I guess audibly, if you are sitting here saying, like, you know what, we're going to release this game and we really hope it sells, 2.5 million to 5 million units. Well, it kind of fell a little bit over the 3 million unit range, maybe around the 4 million right around now. And within that, it falls within the expected range. But I think no matter what, 5 million is better than 3, or whatever bigger number is bigger, is better than what they ended up doing. And this just fuels, and rightfully so, the question of why is this only on PS5? I know there are avid PS5 defenders of the exclusivity of it. We know that Square Enix made some money off of it, but clearly not enough to justify the lack and falling of sales, which caused the stock price to dip down, but not, again, 100% off the backs of 16. What does this also go in line with? Well, we also got the Xbox announcement for Final Fantasy 14, and in that, the real story is with the fact that Final Fantasy's next expansion 7.0 is falling in summer 2024. Whoever was expecting it to be sooner what has not been reading the tea leaves right. A lot of people do projections, and this is just a market correction projection adjustment to the fact that they thought the expansion would be much sooner. Talked to gamers who thought the expansion was much sooner. Same thing with these guys who are making these predictions in market cap. So the adjustment happened because the next big sell through, the next big wave of player base is going to happen sometime in spring 2024 and beyond, which then you'll start to see the stock kind of, correcting for that excitement, for that increase of revenue, because Final Fantasy 14 is one of the big revenue producing games that Square Enix has. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't generate monthly subscription fees, and so it is based 100% off of its sale through, and that's why limiting it just to PlayStation 5 I don't think was the right move. And I'm going to stand by that. I've said that since the beginning. I've stated that here for you now, and I'll continue to defend that that was the wrong call for Square Enix to do. Even if it didn't come to Xbox right away, if it just also came to PC, that would have helped sales out and actually helped them reach their targets. So that's kind of on Square Enix for making that call. Now, these decisions and business decisions are made far into the past. Final Fantasy, 16 being a PS5 exclusive was not decided in 2022. It was decided much further along than that. That's old leadership. New leadership takes time to kind of reform. So that's going to be where we're at. On top of this, they start to talk about dropping AA's and really kind of focusing on the AAA experience, which I don't know how you guys feel. That doesn't necessarily feel good to me. While I really want to root for Square Enix in this case, I really hope that doesn't mean that they cut out the Octopath Travelers and the Triangle Strategies. And I wouldn't mind if they gave them different kind of names, but it is going to be how it is. I really hope that they continue to invest in their bigger IPs, but also at the same time, I think they have some really good hits in that other category. And I think their biggest weakness has been limiting Xbox this entire time. And hopefully, with the announcements that we saw last week, hopefully with all of this, we can see them going in a better and bigger direction, making bigger sales numbers, and then being able to take that and continue to invest in those style of games. So again, the stock price is a correction, not just off of the first quarter results, but also on the fact that 14 is now kind of targeted for summer 2024, which you could start to say maybe that's late June. We'll have to wait and see, but that's one of the things that we knew was going to happen, and that's actually what has happened. Market corrections of prices are that, and they're going to keep happening, but don't let people use that as a method in which that it's like, oh, they're Square Enix is in trouble. No, they've got enough valuable IP that right now I would say they're doing pretty good, especially if you start to finally kind of look at it. If you just bring it up, their lowest point in price was 26.80 share, and right now they're listed at 42, which or 40 in this case. And so they've lost a little bit of value, but if you like to play the game of individual stocks, that could mean that you do have future things that are coming, and this isn't a representation of hype. This isn't a representation of that. It's just numbers and the value of the company itself. But that's the thoughts here. I don't necessarily care all that much about their stock as long as they continue to make really good games. And I think Final Fantasy 16 is a really good game, and it's unfortunate that it becomes just a point to try to make within the console wars. So hopefully at some point with the announcements when Phil Spencer at FanFest, that means maybe we won't have to wait so long to see Final Fantasy 16. Maybe we'll finally see the 7 remake series bring its way in, Octopath Traveler and more, also adding into that platform, which will help increase the reach and the sales for players out there. Also support GeForce Now, Square. If you're listening to this, please support GeForce Now. Sound off in the comments below, guys, with a shout out to GeForce Now. If you guys like the service, I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for being here. Like, sub, share, all that good YouTube stuff. This is a great way of helping the channel continue to grow. And right now we're growing around 400 subscribers a month. So thank you guys so much for that. One of these days we'll get up to that 100K. That just seems so surreal, and I don't know, I'm excited about it. So thank you guys so much for the constant support and love. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I will see you in the next one, but until then, take care.